Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm back with another video, and in today's video I'm finally gonna do something with Project Prelude Trunk. So if y'all remember a while ago, I installed a sub and an amp in this trunk, and I basically just left everything how it was because I knew in the future I wanted to do some type of nice trunk setup. Now I've never done anything like this before, so I honestly don't even really have a plan, and a lot of times when I shoot these videos I at least have a plan before I start shooting it. That way it kind of flows a little bit better. I know what I'm doing, I know what I need to record, etc. But in today's video, we're going in raw dog. I absolutely don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna take what I've learned from other things I've done, other things I've built. I feel like I can accomplish this. I want to do something simple, not something crazy. So let's go ahead and take a look in the trunk. All right, so here's the trunk. Here's my Sundown E-Series 12-inch, and I have a Pioneer GMD8601 with a Sony, what is this, XM-S400D, I think that's what that is. It's a 4-channel amp and a whole bunch of wires. But I left it like this just because I wanted to get everything wired up, make sure that everything worked and sound good, and then I wanted to do a nice setup back here. So what I want to do is, I basically want to get rid of the floor that's in here and replace it with some plywood, something that's stronger than this. And I want to put the amp basically in the floor with a piece of acrylic on top of it, and it's nice and lit up and looks nice and clean, no wires, no nothing. I also want to build a new box, something a little bit smaller and wider, like not as deep but more wide. But I'm probably going to end up doing that in a later video. Right now I just want to focus on the floor because that's obviously going to be the more challenging part. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take all this stuff out, because I need to see what size piece of plywood I need that'll end up replacing the floor that's in here. So let's do it. Alright, so I got everything laid out, and I also bought a capacitor, just A, for the looks, and B, to help with the electrical system. This is stock system, so obviously a capacitor will help a little bit. I got everything laid out basically where I want it. Now, obviously it's going to be dropped down with a piece of glass on top, but I had to get measurements to see what size box I actually need to make for the amp, like the hardware and all that stuff. And this is, I'm basically going to build a box that's 12 by 24 and have that attached to the floor. But now I got this measurement, now I can take this floor out, and I actually need to measure the floor, that way I can get a piece of wood close enough to the size of this and go ahead and get that trimmed up to create our new floor. Alright, so I got the floor out and I took measurements and I got 34 by 34 roughly. I just used that perfect square number just because it's easy to remember. And here's the trunk without the floor. Still got the spare tire in here from 1993, which is crazy. Now it's time to run to the, I'm probably gonna go to Menards, get a piece of plywood that's thick enough. I'm just gonna see what they got, and I'll be back so we can go ahead and get that traced up and trimmed out. Alright, so I'm back and I got some wood. I ended up having to buy two 2x4s because a 4x4 wouldn't fit in my car, but it's not a big deal. What I'm gonna end up doing is just gluing these together and then using some metal brackets to keep them together. And then another thing I did off camera was I went ahead and unhooked all the amps, took everything out the trunk, and this is what we're building right here, just the square. I'm gonna end up buying some black fabric paint to black out the pieces that's already here like this, just to match the suede carpet that I'm gonna put on the wood. I don't think I mentioned yet, I am wrapping this wood with suede fabric like how I did the headliner. It should come out pretty nice, and then somewhere down there is where the amps will be. And I bought this piece of acrylic. I ended up just buying acrylic because I figured that this will be easier to work with. It might be more like scratchable, but I don't plan on actually using this truck for anything else other than just to show it off. So I figured that this would be the move. But right now what I'm gonna do is I need to get the factory carpet traced out on this wood so I can go ahead and get the wood cut, and then I can put it in the car and give it its first test fit. So let's go ahead and do it. I also forgot to mention this wood is OBS. It's 3/4 inch thick. I was originally gonna get the 1/2 inch thick, but I felt like it flexed a little bit too much. But this 3/4 inch is really rigid, so it shouldn't be flexing or bending once I put the sub box on top. So that's the wood I got. Now let's get it traced out and cut out. Alright, so I got the wood cut up and it's in the car, and it's fitting pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, for like, you know, just a rough cut. I even measured out a box, so it's 17 by 12 is the amp box. That's what it's gonna be. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this box cut out, and I'm gonna get this left hand side attached to the actual main piece. I'm just glue it and use some of these. I know I got some metal brackets around here somewhere, and I'm just screw them together. And then after that, I just want to sand all the edges because it fits tight, which is good. So once I hit the edges with the sander, it should honestly just slide right in, which it needs to do. It don't need to. I had to like bang it in there. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. So I'm gonna put y'all on a tripod and get busy. While that dry, I'm gonna go ahead and build the box for the amps and everything else that's going in there. Alright, so it's been a few days and I honestly don't remember what I filmed last. All the joint compound is dry. The reason why I put joint compound around this is because I want to just fill in the cracks. I'm a little OCD, it don't really matter, but I gotta sand the whole board anyway, so I just figured why not just throw some compound just to get rid of the crack and make this nice and smooth. I also did fill in the screw holes that's mounting the box to the actual floor, so won't see no screws. But the next thing I need to do is I need to pull this back out. I'm going ahead and sand the whole board down. The whole board needs to be sanded, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that done and we're gonna time lapse this. So it's another new day. This project has been going on for a week. Been one of the longer projects, but I ain't complaining because I'm happy with how it's coming out and we're very close to the finish line. So the next step I'm gonna do is I need to pull out the trunk trim and I'm gonna paint that with some fabric, like black paint. That way it matches better with the suede carpet that's on the piece I made. I'm gonna get that done. And next I'm gonna go ahead and get that acrylic cut and I'm gonna get the holes made. That way I can screw it on to this piece. I bought some threaded inserts. That way I can just screw it into the piece of wood pretty easy, come in and out. I can do it as many times as I want without it ever getting stripped out or whatever. And that's what I'm focusing on right now. So let's go ahead and get to work. That look like Nissan.
Your dentist.
Well.
Alright, so after I got done flocking the edge to give it a border, off camera I just rewired a couple things. Some things need to be extended, that way it can fit through the trunk piece. I did all that off camera because wiring is extremely boring. So I got all these like powering new ground and all this stuff. I also got the trunk pieces sitting right here, all black. I also went ahead and installed the fan on the bottom of this. Just go ahead and get that out the way, because once I get these pieces back in, then this can go in. I can finally start wiring everything up. So let me go ahead and get all these pieces back in. That way we can finally get this in and see how it looks. Alright, so I finally got everything hooked up. It is literally 12 o'clock. I've been out here. Ooh, can we focus? Here we go. 12 o'clock. I've literally been out here all day, but it's finally wired up, so now we can test it. So I'm going to put power to the battery, and hopefully nothing catches on fire. So let's see. Alright, so I am applying power now. Positive's going on. Okay, just going to touch negative, see what happens. Okay, nothing happened, so that's always good. Now let's turn the car on, see what happens. So, let's see, I'm just gonna reach in, got the key on. Key is on, turn the fan off for the heat. And let's see, we have no power going back here. Oh wait, you know what? I didn't turn on the circuit breaker. Give me a minute. Actually, let's do it live on camera. So we flip this, it should come on. So it's on. It didn't pop, so that's good. Now let's see if it came on. And would you look at that? We got power. But the fan did not come on. I wonder why is that. Let me investigate that. Alright, it's working. I had that wire completely wrong. The fan controller. But it's on now. The fan is on. It's making a little noise because I'm guessing that the blade is like hitting a piece of wood. But I figured it's going to eventually self-clearance itself, so I'm going to leave that alone. At the bottom, it shows what temperature you got set. Top is current temperature in here. Got like a little temperature probe right there, which is cool. The capacitor got a voltmeter on there, but for some reason they keep going on and off. I'm guessing because the car ain't running, but the amps are on. You can see the light right there and the green light on the 4-channel amp. So it's all hooked up. It's all working. Now it's time to finalize it. I'm going to clean it up. I need to clean up this piece of glass, all the extra flock that's on there, and put the LEDs on there. And once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and just vacuum it up, clean everything up, and I'm finally done. Like, this has been one hell of a project, but it's been a fun one. So let's go ahead and finish this up.
Excellent.
Finally done. Man, that shit look good, I ain't gonna lie. Alright, so I hope y'all enjoyed watching this video. I don't know, it probably was a long one. It's been a week. This has taken a week to get done. So if y'all made it this far, let me know by leaving a like below, and also subscribe and ring the bell. So next thing that's up for this trunk is I need to build a new box. The old box is too big that is actually sitting on the glass. So what I need to do is basically build a box that's not as deep but more wide. So that's coming up. I'm actually getting that done this weekend, and that video should be up next week. So again, make sure to subscribe and make sure to follow me on Instagram. You can see this as I'm building it because I always post like updates on what I'm doing. So follow me on Instagram _SteezyManny. All that stuff will be in the description below. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, go back in the house. Getting kind of cold outside. I'm gonna warm up. So thanks for watching. Peace out.